Hey heroes, welcome in. We just saw Venom 3 The Last Dance. It was. We're going to get into it here real quick. Once again, we are your hosts for hire. I am Lucas Rand. This is Kyle Cage. And Kyle, so what was one of your favorite parts about it? We'll start with the good, right?
Start with
We'll
the
start with
good.
the good.
All right, one of my favorite parts about it was just how cool the symbiotes were.
The
Like they looked cool.
To be fair, as far as all the CGI being a trend in movies for CGI being bad lately, this actually it held up pretty good. At
It
least
did,
like
I
every time the
agree.
symbiotes were on the screen, they looked damn good. Like I at least first watch through couldn't pick up any like Thor Love and Thunder bad or like Flash bad
Not even close.
CGI
Like,
moments. Uh
and all of them were really cool. Like I think that was probably my favorite part about it. Well, that and what was your favorite part?
Oh yeah, it's hard. I really like Lasher. Like
Mhm.
Lasher was super sweet. They definitely made it a point to be like, this one is Lasher. It was just like,
Yeah, just I did like how she was constantly
yeah, it was
stabbing. Like,
it's pretty cool. I
yeah.
really like that. And then throughout all of these movies, so like Venom's always been my favorite character. I have a
He's
really
just
soft
always
spot,
been one of the coolest characters in
just huge
Marvel.
soft spot for Venom. So like I've really liked the Eddie relationship with
Mhm.
Venom and like all of them. But like this one was pretty heartfelt. This one kind of got me a little bit in the theaters. What was very weird to me, however, through because like I really like this relationship they've built, but they've built it over only a year.
Yeah, that was weird
That
when
was
they
weird. Is that
mentioned
weird
that,
to
like,
anybody else?
because the way that Venom was like, "Oh, it's been a year already." Like for us, it's like 6 years have passed between the first and this movie. Like, it has been a very long time, and also it feels like it takes a long time for for them to. It would have had more impact if they'd known each other for longer. Like
I agree
even
with
just
that.
5 years. Like I don't
I
know.
agree with that. I think like their spacing when they thought the whole thing through
Yeah,
originally back in Venom 1 just like should have spaced it out over a longer period of time. I think
yeah.
would have been really cool. And like you said, just better for that bond. Cause like
Mhm.
yeah, it feels a little odd sometimes, like when Eddie's like waking up the next morning, he's like, "Hey, bud," like kind of like he does like like something that you would do every morning, kind of like with
Yeah.
your girlfriend or your wife or your significant other. Uh, but he'd like a year,
A year? And, like,
I guess I get it, but
I don't know, like, what was something you disliked about it, though? What was your
mm,
probably your least favorite thing
there was a few, man. There's a few like little nitpicky things, like the actor for the general being Mordo. Like for that to me, like it
about it?
just takes me out of it, man.
Yeah, you
Like
just you personally have a hard time with that, I do know that,
I just
yeah.
don't like. It's not that he's not a good actor. It's not that I didn't like believe that he was the general. It's just like unfortunately, it's kind of like I was talking to my stepbrother earlier about it. Like when Christian Bale wasn't Batman anymore for a good long bit. Like he couldn't do roles for me without me being like it's Batman.
Yeah.
Because like fuck man, you're Batman for a while. Like until like Batfleck like became Batman, then I like we could ease him off of that. But for a while, I was like shit, dude,
Like, that's just Batman.
you're Batman. So that
Yeah.
kind of it's just like a little thing that bothers me, but I think mainly um kind of hard to say. It's like the movie just felt like it didn't have like a very good villain. Like Null, to be fair, I'm really glad they didn't use him. I was worried that they were like gonna
Yeah.
carnage him or they were just gonna bring him and kill him and type shit. And that would have pissed me off to like a degree that I couldn't
No, the
explain.
fact that they set him up to be able to maybe be in the MCU going forward or
And he's
to, like.
multiversal,
Yeah, like because they
clearly.
showed that the portal that pulled Eddie back to the Sony universe was the same portal that Null was sending his
Stuff
creatures
through.
to Earth through.
Yeah. So like he's clearly multiversal, which is really cool. They're kind of setting him
Yeah.
up to kind of be this like Thanos level background villain,
Hmm.
or like you know what I mean, which is really
Which
cool.
is which is yeah. Hopefully we get some cool shit with Null still, because like and thank God, like you were saying, thank God they didn't ruin him right off the bat because they could have very easily done that,
Yeah.
but at the same point that you were making, it did feel like the stakes were very lackluster.
Yeah.
Whereas like they basically made it where at least I felt that immediately one of them was gonna die. That was the only way
Mhm.
to keep Null
Yeah.
from getting out is one of them had to die.
Yeah. Yep.
You know,
So
so
that kind of
like it
made
was
like the
clear.
end
It
feel
was
clear.
the only tension was which one was gonna die.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. I absolutely agree with that. And just like we were talking about, it's obviously going to be Venom.
Yeah.
It's pretty clear that it was going to be Venom for a while. Um, One thing though something that I think that could have made the movie better on that point of the villain being lackluster is that I think that the symbiote scene where like all the symbiotes were going like against the alien was super dope. I wish it would have been a little longer so it could have been fleshed out so each symbiote could have had more of a like time to do something and they had time to like culminate into hybrid.
Uh,
Why you guys they didn't use hybrid?
they
What were they thinking, bro?
it felt like the first movie was a tease
That's
for
my biggest
hybrid, and then we just didn't get it. And then they just
yeah,
decided, say we should go fuck ourselves.
that's my biggest negative. And like so like I was going to
I
say,
would say me too. Overall, that's really like there was a like the movie overall. I think for me was like mid. It
mhm,
wasn't like it didn't blow my mind, but it was
no,
entertaining.
wasn't
It
bad.
was there was some good dialogue. There was a
Yeah.
lot of funny moments. I laughed quite a
Yes.
few
I don't
times.
think it was bad, but it definitely wasn't like a
But
come out the theater like, whoo, like
mhm.
who that was just crazy. You know,
We immediately came out of the theater and you thought of this, and what we immediately started doing is thinking of ways it could have been better, which is usually a pretty
yeah,
bad sign.
yeah,
That
yep,
that like the movie
yep.
wasn't that
So we
great.
thought of and follow us here and tell me what you think if this would have been better for the villains, other than like it seemed like they were kind of doing like a pseudo version of the poisons. I forget they're calling like the Xeno whatevers as like that like monster villain. But to me would have been a lot cooler that it seemed one that the symbiotes were good guys, right? Which was really cool. Like I really like that. They're like all like Lasher, Phage, all of them. They were like good hearted. Venom, other than Riot, obviously. Uh, but it would have been cool to have Null's influence over them, being their god, being their creator, would have just like turned them on
Mhm.
Venom. Having Venom, like they could have like had him be the special one that like can resist Null's influence, but having the other symbiotes kind of being the ones hunting Venom would have been really really cool. Would have been a way to like have those stakes a little more than just
Yeah.
like this like monster
And, like,
coming after him.
it would make him reluctant to, like, kill his pursuers because he
Hmm.
knows that it's not really their fault,
Yeah,
and, like, it'd be like a dichotomy of, like, "No, I wanna help save my family, like, I
yeah,
wanna save my brothers and
right,
sisters, but they're also attacking me, so I
yeah.
need to do something against them." And with
And it
2,
could have
like
culminated to them turning into hybrid, like at the end
Mhm.
for like a big like we're going to take you in.
Yeah.
Like, you're coming with us back to null, no matter what.
Yeah, and
Turn into
that's
hybrid.
and then he could have done the same thing he did, which is, the acid bath
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
monsters, like, he could have
And it
done
would
the
have been
same
sick, dude.
thing,
Yeah, he could have just like taken into the hybrid, done the whole thing,
and, like,
dude.
been
Like
like, "I'm so sorry, I'm so sick." It would have been a horribly tragic moment
it
where
would
he
have
had to
been like
kill
killing
his
himself
brothers
and
and
his
his bro
family.
yeah,
Would have been really compelling. Like
yeah.
really heart jerking.
And the reason why all of them would have needed to go would have been, clear because any of them could have become at least that's the way they made it seem, where any of them could achieve the codex by saving their host.
Right.
So having to take all of them out so that Null could never get out,
Yeah, they
like,
made the codex. That's another thing. That man, like, if they were gonna choose to go in this like King in Black arc,
they should have started with the second one.
they
Like
yes, they sh-
Cletus and Carnage, or at least Cletus should 100% be alive.
yeah, it's
Like,
very upsetting to me. Like
you
we kept
know,
hearing that there was gonna be a Spider-Man in this movie,
something.
and that didn't happen. I
In
kept
that New
hearing that
York,
Norman Reedus was gonna be Null. That
yeah,
wasn't a
it
thing.
was
What
Andy
was
Circus,
what?
which
Yeah,
is
what's
weird.
with all of that?
But the other thing, in that new
Norman Reedus better be Ghost
Ghost
Rider.
Rider,
Okay, please
please,
hashtag and comment and tell us
Norman,
Norman
who's
Reedus.
better than
Yeah,
Norman Reedus as Ghost Rider? Tell us if you have a
please.
suggestion. I would love to hear it
Specifically
because
Johnny Blaze. Robbie
yeah,
Reyes. I'm certain there's a lot of better options
well,
than
obviously,
fucking Norman
yeah,
Reedus.
yeah, probably.
Hey man, you never know with Marvel. You never know.
Yeah,
You
but
know.
but but I was also gonna with I completely lost it now. Was that they could have said my point I was making was that they could have set it up better.
Yes.
They could have been more they could have been more thoughtful from the first movie to this movie.
Yes.
Like clearly with Matt Reeves and the Batman, which is a good example of it,
The whole
of
plan.
the whole thing is planned. It's not kind of off the cuff, whereas this one clearly, like, they made the first one and they did really well, and they were like, oh well, we can make a second one, so
Let's
let's
do
make a second
Carnage.
one. Let's do
And they're like,
Carnage. People love him. And they're like, oh, that did well. Okay, we'll do one more. Like, that's how it felt. I just think there should have been more forward thinking. They
yeah,
set up a potential hybrid in the first one, or at least they teased at it
yeah,
being possible, and then they just
and didn't do
didn't
it.
do it.
They like I said with this one, they kind of did like a pseudo poison, like with
Mhm.
like these like Xeno whatever they were called. I
Yeah,
forget.
the symbiote killers,
Mhm. Uh,
or
man,
symbiote,
that's such a cool,
symbiote,
yeah,
symbiote.
symbiote.
Yeah.
uh, Such a cool opportunity to do the poisons, dude. Which like is like one of my absolute favorite comic lines.
Yeah.
Like, they're so badass.
Mhm.
Uh, with a little more time, or like you said, a little more planning through the first one, through this one. Like, why did they kill off Carnage in the last
Makes no
one? If the
sense. It really
plan was
makes
to
no
have
sense.
Carnage, or to not to have Carnage, but to plan to do King in Black. Like,
Yeah.
he's so integral. Like,
Well, and the thing is, they're not doing King in Black. It
it's
seems like
weird.
he's just gonna kind of show up in the MCU at some point.
Yeah, but like I
Like,
guess, but he did say like at the end, like the King in Black is like going was
is
rising, and
wait
like like
is awake. Yeah,
yeah,
like,
so like at the very least they're pulling from a lot of like the King in Black uh story arc,
yeah.
uh which is please it's
That's
one of
one
the
of the coolest
coolest
ones
ones.
ever.
But
But we
like,
talked about that
yeah,
actually.
like please don't just rush it, bro. Don't
Yeah.
rush it. Do this Thanos thing. Like if they're gonna like bring Venom into the MCU somehow, uh
Null kind of has to be fall by the wayside and be forgotten about a little bit, and then when he comes
yes.
for his comeback needs to be like, oh shit, that's right. Like,
Here's what I think is gonna happen. I think that somehow in Secret Wars, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is gonna get fatal, is gonna die, and Venom is gonna be like in. I'm assuming a battle world is gonna be created,
mhm.
and the whole Venom suit Spider-Man classic shit is gonna go down. Venom's gonna come in. He's gonna get the black suit. They'll create a codex through that,
Yeah,
right?
if it follows Secret Wars where Peter
And then that
dies,
could
yeah.
be like a link to like releasing Null, because like he's not free right now. He still
No,
needs the codex,
yeah,
and right now Eddie and Venom succeeded in like breaking
stalling
that,
him at the very least,
right?
you know.
So I'm assuming like it's gonna take another Venom saving another host to create another codex so that Null
Yeah.
can get out, and
Or
that would be a cool
another
one.
symbiote
That would
in
be cool.
general, which is they did leave her name.
Oh yeah, Keeley from
Yeah,
Ted
Keely
Lasso,
from Ted Lasso.
Doctor Payne,
Yeah,
and Agony.
Agony. Yeah, they did leave Agony alive with the
That's true. They
reliable
could do
host,
it that
but
way. I would dislike that a little bit,
it'd
man.
be a little
Not gonna
weird.
lie.
Yeah,
Like I liked her character and I liked Agony, but like that's not a very big
I'd like to
character
see.
to
I'd
like.
like to see more. That was another thing, like where you said like they could have taken away from other places to add to others. That's another big one. Agony could have had a couple more scenes rather than just the one scene of
Yes,
her saving her.
agreed,
Like that
agreed.
was kind of lame.
I
Um,
agree.
what did you guys think about it? Let us know in the comments below whether
Yeah,
you loved
favorite
it, hated
moments,
it.
least favorite moments. Please let us know. That is at Host for Hire podcast. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't already to see all of our latest posts. And thank you guys so much for joining us. We will see you next time.